Hey everybody, welcome back. We're here today to talk about Windows 24H2. This is an update to Windows 11 that brings us some really powerful tools for gaming. This is going to give you faster game load times and much better in-game performance. It is rolling out from Microsoft and people will be getting this over time. It's a phased rollout, so there's no way to really tell whether or when you're going to get it. However, you can actually go out and get it yourself, and we're going to talk about what the benefits are of 24H2, and we're going to talk about how to see whether this is going to benefit you, because you can tell in advance whether this is going to be something you want. And then we're also going to talk about how to get it. Now, in terms of gaming, Windows 24H2 introduces what's called DirectStorage 2.0, which brings faster game loading times and better in-game performance. What it does, it offloads much of the work to the GPU. Your GPU is able to stream directly from the SSD into the GPU memory, bypassing your CPU. So what does DirectStorage give us? It gives us faster game loading. Your games are going to load 30% faster or more. Reduced CPU overload, and this is a big one for Microsoft Flight Simulator. By bypassing the CPU for data compression, DirectStorage limits or lightens the CPU's workload. Much of what used to be done by the CPU is now done by the GPU directly from your hard drive, from your SSD hard drive. And what this does is it frees up your CPU for other tasks. Now, in Microsoft Flight Simulator, we know that we are CPU limited. So this process by which the CPU load is lightened can reduce our CPU overhead by 20 to 40%. And that's going to give you 20 to 40% more CPU headroom to do gaming stuff, which is what we need in Microsoft Flight Simulator. It also gives us better GPU efficiency. It lets the GPU directly access the compressed data for the game, which speeds up the rendering of the game and makes the rendering itself in the game faster and more efficient. So what you're going to get is boosted frame rates and smoother in-game performance, which is as important in my book as frame rates. Let's take a quick look at what you're going to need to check to see whether you can use this with your computer. So first of all, what do you need in order to use DirectStorage in Windows 11? First of all, you need Windows 11. This is not, there is DirectStorage in Windows 10, but not this updated version, this version 2.0. So you need Windows 11. You need an NVMe SSD hard drive, 1 terabyte or larger. Can work on smaller ones, but 1 terabyte or larger is recommended. You need a high performance GPU that supports DirectX 12. These are NVIDIA RTX 2000 or higher, or AMD RDNA 2 and 3 or higher. And you need a Windows 11 installation. Now, in order to determine whether you can use this, you need to check your Windows system. So if you hit the Windows button and the G button, that brings up your game bar. Win and G as in golf, brings up your game bar. Then you come up here on settings, click on settings, click here on gaming features, and here's your system is DirectX 12 Ultimate ready, and it needs to be DirectX 12 Ultimate ready. I failed to mention that before. And then you come down here under DirectStorage and GPU DirectStorage optimized, so that works. OS, this version of Windows, you won't see this initially, because if you don't have Windows 24H2, you won't see this for the OS. But your GPUs should be DirectStorage optimized, and your drive status, this is the important one, C needs to be DirectStorage supported. Now my D drive is not, but my C drive is, and that's the drive that I have Microsoft Flight Simulator on. So these are the things you need to see. Now let's see if your Windows version is ready for 24H2. First thing, click on the start button and type WinVer, WinVer, and hit enter. And it's going to tell you which version of Windows you have. Now I have version 24H2. As of yesterday, before I updated this, I had 23H2. So you're going to see which version of Windows 11 that you have. If you do not have version 24H2, then let's move forward in getting that for you. And if you do not have 24H2, there's a couple steps we need to do to install it. First of all, you have to run what's called PC Health Check to make sure that your Windows system can run 24H2. I'll put a link for this in the description. You click on this link that they don't actually have a web page for. It's simply for downloading things. You click on this link. It's going to download the PC Health Check for you. Then we want to run the PC Health Check app. You click on Check Now. And it's going to show you, great news, Windows 11 is here. And it's going to tell you you've got everything you need to update to this version. Now, the easiest way to update to this version is simply through the Windows update process. So search Update, check your Windows Update settings, and then see if the version is available. The one thing you need to make sure is that you have the Get the Latest Updates as soon as they're available box checked. And if you see Windows 24H2 available here for updates, simply update it through the Windows update process and you are done. So if you don't see, if you have version 23H2 or 22H2 and you don't see 24H2 here, then we need to get it manually. To do that, we come here to the Microsoft Download Windows 11 page. There is the Windows 11 Installation Assistant, and you simply click here and download and run the Windows 11 Installation Assistant. I've already done this, so I can't walk you through the process. Simply save the executable on your computer and then run the executable and follow the steps. It took about 25 minutes to download and install. It walks you through the process to install it, and once you go through that, you should be good to go. Two things I would note for you in terms of downloading and installing this. If you have an issue, if you get a failure message at the end of the installation process, what happened to me a couple times, I went through the installation process using Installation Assistant, and at the very end of the process, I got this message. This one right here, Windows 11 setup, Windows 11 installation has failed. And you click OK, and it goes back through the process. I did this a couple times, and it kept failing. There are two ways of handling this. The first way is you can create a USB drive, a bootable USB drive, where you download Windows 11 24H2 onto a USB drive, and then you boot your computer to the USB drive, and it will install Windows 24H2 for you from the USB drive. The reason I would not recommend doing that is because it's a clean installation. In other words, it's going to wipe everything from your drive. So you will get Windows 24H2, Windows 11 24H2. You will also lose everything on your drive, including your SIM, all of your programs, apps, everything. So clearly that's not something you want to do. The other option is, or the other possibility is, that you are having an issue with multiple user profiles, duplicate user profiles. Now, if you look here in Windows Explorer, you see your user profiles. Now, these are my user profiles. MTR_N is the one that I use. These are all, I don't even know what, there's all users, default user. I don't know what the difference is between the two, but there's also this default user 10001. Now, when I click on it, I can't even access it. So I don't really know what it does. Don't really care what it does. However, there's one profile in your Windows registry for each of these usernames. And in my particular case, I had two profiles for this default user 10001. So I had duplicate user profiles for that particular username. And that's what was causing my Windows 24H2 install to fail. So the way to deal with that is you can delete the user profile through Windows itself. That will delete the whole profile. I don't know why the profile is there. Maybe somebody can answer in the comments and tell me why it's there and explain everything to us. I don't know why it's there, and I don't want to delete the entire thing because I don't know what that's going to cause. But what you can do is find out if this duplicate user profile issue is what's causing your install to fail. And if it is, then we can deal with it. So you come here, I'll put a link to this page in the description. Now, this is about Windows 11 22H2, but it goes through the process of why your profile or why your installation is failing. So this page will walk you through the process of finding out whether you have to look in this log file, which you open as a text file. It's very easy. And what it's going to show you is this here, duplicate profile detected for et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If you have this issue, the solution for it is to delete that user profile. The problem with that is it requires a registry edit and a manual registry edit. Now, I went through and did it with my fingers crossed and one eye open, and it worked. And this page will show you how to deal with it. However, if you want to do that, if you're having the failure issue and you want to try this solution and you find out that it is the duplicate profile and you want to use this solution, I'm going to put this page here and I will leave it to you, because I don't want to make anybody mess with their registry. You know, if you don't know what you're doing, the only thing I will tell you is when you find the duplicate profile, you can see here, when you find the duplicate profile, you don't delete this file, which is the profile image path. You find out which folder the duplicate profile is in, and you right click and delete the folder. So what happened in my particular case, I had, let's say, for example, these two folders, the one ending in 1022 and the one ending in 1023, and they both had the same user. They were both assigned to the same user. And so what I did was simply right click the 1023 folder and deleted it in the registry, and it was fine. Now, if you do this, before you do this, set a system restore point. Okay, come to your system here, type system restore, go to create a restore point, make sure all of your drives are protected, your C drive, your D drive, whatever you have, and also your BIOS. Click create, put 24H2 or whatever you want to put, and create the restore point. So if something goes wrong, you have something to go back to. That is what I would say. But again, I'm not gonna walk you through how to do this. This page will give you all that information. Just know that you have to delete the folder, not this one profile file. And that's what's not clear from this page. So once you go through this, hopefully all you're going to have to do is go to this Windows 11 installation assistant, download, install, and it's going to work. If you run into an issue, that was the issue I had. It's a very common issue, a very difficult issue to figure out how to deal with. That's how you deal with it. Now I have Windows 11 24H2 set up. Let's take a quick look in the sim, see what it looks like. All right, here we are in the sim. I want to show you the first thing, which is how fast the sim loads. So here I am loading into Anguilla in the Britain Norman Islander, which I do all the time. Now let's see how quickly this loads. Watch this. This is in real time. Zoom. Look at it go. This normally takes about until now to get where it is at this point. You start to see the frame gen stuff jiggling on the screen there. And there we are loaded. Probably, I'd say so it says 20 to 40% faster. I'd say at least 20% faster. All right, here we go. External power supply on, or rotating beacon on. Mixtures and props full forward, master and battery switches on. Our fuel pumps still aren't working. Fuel pumps coming on. Mags all on. Fuel valves open. Toes on the brakes. Take a look outside. Make sure there's nobody out there to kill or maim, and there is not. Right engine, good start. Oil pressure is good. Left prop is clear. Left engine, good start. Oil pressure is good. Close this. Turn these off. External power supply off. Nav and strobe lights coming on. Mixture is lean for taxi. Bring the throttles back just a little bit. Release the parking brake. And as you guys know, I am not a big frames per second person. That's not really what gets me up in the morning. Tap the brakes. But what I can tell you is, and obviously this is subjective, but what I can tell you is that this is smooth as can be. And I've been hearing about this 24H2 for a while now, for probably it was released out of alpha or beta in the beginning of September, or beginning of October, I believe October 1st. And I started hearing reports from people that it is absolutely unbelievable. From what I've heard so far, the biggest gains are people with AMD GPUs, CPUs, but I can tell you that number one, you should always taxi on centerline, and number two, it is just butter smooth. Absolutely fantastic. So let's go. Runway is clear, final approach course is clear, flaps set. Go, fuel pumps on. And runway is clear. Heading indicator checks with the runway number. Mixtures and props full forward. Takeoff power coming in. Takeoff power is set. Engine instruments in the green. Airspeed is alive. Dancing on the rudder pedals here this morning in the Caribbean. There's 70 knots, and let's go flying. And even like panning, or one of the things that I've noticed is like panning around outside 100 feet AGL, bring our power back, bring our props back a little bit. Even just panning around outside is super smooth. Gonna drop the nose here, bring the flaps up. Shouldn't do that in a turn, but that's all right. I don't want to do a real long flight here because it's not, I mean, it is the point of this video, but I don't want to do too much in the way of flying. But if you see, that jerkiness right there is my mouse. It's not. And we're also gonna roll over here. There's 1,000 feet AGL. Go up here, we'll turn our fuel pumps off. Fuel pressures are looking good. Little bit of a little bit of left rudder here. It's so smooth. Everything is just completely smooth. And that's one of the things they talk about with this update. It's yes, you're gonna get better performance. You're gonna get better frame rate performance. But at the end of the day, what matters is smoothness. If I get 200 frames per second and it's not smooth, I don't care. And smoothness, yes, it is subjective. And we love our numbers as flight simmers, but I'm telling you, what I'm looking for, what I try to bring you guys is smoothness. And this flight is not going very smoothly, but in terms of negative dynamic stability of the airplane, but the performance of the sim itself is just absolutely unbelievable. And just looking over there at Grand Cast, looks beautiful. And we'll come over here to St. Martin, wrap it up over here. But just an incredible nosedive. See this? It's just no particular reason at all for this airplane to be doing this. And it's not the plane, it's the sim. I may have gone over an amoeba, which caused the airplane to shoot into the sky at 1,000 feet a minute. Bring this back to 1900, we'll bring the props back to 21. We'll go fuel pumps on. Once we get back into flap range here, under 115 knots, put first notch of flaps in. And just enjoy this gorgeous scenery. I'm going to bring the power back now to about 1500, and that's going to get me right back into the white arc here. Hold the nose. And there's a white arc. We'll go second notch of flaps. And now we'll trim the airplane for 80 knots. All right, take a look out the window here. I don't see any conflicting traffic. 80 knots it is. Fuel pumps around, flaps are set, mixtures are forward. Props will be coming forward here shortly. We'll start easing it in. Always turn in early rather than late. You turn in too early, just shallow out your turn and meander over. You turn in too late, you've got to bank hard. You're down low and you don't want to do that. Turn in too early rather than too late, folks. 4 white, that's all right. We are in the Islander after all. 80 knots, looking good. There's 4 white, 1 red. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to come mixtures and props full forward. Fuel pumps are on, flaps are set, seatbelts are secure. I have a suspicion here that we are facing a left to right crosswind. And now I need a little bit of power, 2 white, 2 red. Get back on center line, 80 knots, 400 feet per minute descent rate is what we're looking for. And now we're a little fast, so we got a little too much energy. Alright, no. We definitely have a left to right crosswind. Yeah, look at that windsock there. Alright, on center line, airspeed is good. There we go. Start bringing the power out here. Hold it right there. That came down in the crab right there, which is not what you want to do. All right, and we'll lean the mixtures for taxi. Princess Juliana International Airport. And once we clear the runway, make sure we look down and make sure we're looking at our flap lever as we put it up. And let's taxi our way in here. Fuel pumps coming off. Now, if we were in the real airplane, I would turn... I would open the window rather, because it is hot. It is hot down here. And this airplane is hot. But I'm in my office in New York, so I'm not going to bother with that. And you can see even taxiing around this relatively heavyish payware airport. Smooth as can be. Come over here. This is Charlie Ramp. Taxi Charlie Ramp. What they tell you when you land here. In one of these anyway. All right. Toes on the brakes. Mixtures idle. Cutoff. Throttles are idle. Park and brake is set. Lights are coming off. Go avionics master off. Fuel pumps are off. Flaps are up. Mags coming off. Master and battery switches coming off. Come over here, put out the boarding steps and the chocks. And we'll come over here and open all of our doors. And that is our flight today, ladies and gentlemen, complete. Poor parking on my part. Thought it was a little better than that. But again, as you can see, just the panning here. Very, very smooth. And I'm going to use my Hobie Eye Tracker 5 here, panning around. Super, super smooth. Whoopsie. Here we are on the airplane itself. You know, and that's the thing, is you're unloading the CPU, and that's going to free it up to give you better performance in the sim. Hope this video has been useful to you guys. If you have any questions, comments, experiences with 24H2, please do let me know in the comments below, and I hope everybody's having a great day.